Top stories before you go now. NU Regions are set to consider a major proposal today. If passed, Clarkston Regional Health Services would give up its 50% membership in Nebraska Medicine. Officials with Nebraska Medicine have pushed back on the proposal.
Happening today, Governor Jim Pillen is set to give his State of the State address. The speech will begin at 10. We'll have live coverage up on our website, firstalert6.com.
And 2 of the 5 people charged in a human trafficking and prostitution investigation will appear in court today. Amy Hicks and Douglas Johnson face several charges, including possession of child pornography.
A person was shot and injured by a federal agent in Minneapolis last night. This happened during a targeted traffic stop of a Venezuelan man. DHS said the officer fired defensive shots, hitting the suspect in the leg.
Governor Pillen is calling for a criminal investigation into a state senator. Last week, Omaha Senator Michaela Cavanaugh was seen on video taking down several of the America 250 wall displays at the state capitol.
Happening today, a groundbreaking for a brand new affordable housing community. Central at Columbus Park is at 21st and Pacific.